Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Hicks here, and welcome back to another XDefiant video. Today we are in for a long one. This is going to be every single AR class setup that I use, going all the way from the M16 to the AK, to the ACR, MDR, and the M4. Also, with this video, I'm gonna do a little bonus of what I think is the best to the worst AR. Worst AR still not being that bad, by the way. When I say worst, I mean that it's the one that I would least likely use, or what I think is the least best. But it doesn't mean that the gun absolutely sucks. It's just that I have more options to pick that's better than that AR. So, I hope you guys do enjoy. It's gonna be 5 loadouts right back to back. We're gonna do it all right here in this video, and I feel like this is going to be a pretty good one. So obviously the first one we're going to start out with here is going to be the M16. There's one behind me. I made a video on this already about me dropping 90 kills, and it seemed like a lot of you guys love this thing because it is actually a monster. This is definitely the best AR for sure by a mile. They are going to nerf this thing so hard. But the class setup that we got going on here, the muzzle booster, increase that rate of fire. There is almost no recoil on this gun, so there is no reason that you should be speccing into any horizontal recoil or vertical recoil. It's a burst weapon, so this thing does not kick up much at all. Even when you shoot this thing as fast as you can, it is not going to move in the slightest. So that's why the muzzle booster is my #1 choice, just because more bullets you get out, faster people die, and that's exactly what I need. Next thing, obviously, rapid fire here again. Does the same exact thing as the muzzle booster, but ×2, so 5% rate of fire this time, and then you get a hit to the recoil both ways by 20%. But again, like I said, there's no recoil on this gun, so it makes it very, very easy to use, 100%. And if you want to see how easy to use, there should be either gameplay on this or my 90 kill game, which I posted a few days ago. Please go watch that video because I show off how to use the weapon, and it is absolutely insane. Next thing here obviously is going to be the reflex sight. I personally do not like the iron sights on the M16, so I put a reflex on it. And I know you probably could go with one of the higher zoom ones just because you expect to be an M16 like more mid long range, but reflex does the job very well. The maps aren't super big in this, so I feel like these are kind of like redundant, but reflex does exactly what you need it to. Obviously, fast mag, we are going to want to be reloading very quick. I play a little bit more aggressive and I'm not really long range, so what I like to do is if I get a kill and I know that there are more people around, thank you. I'm not even live right now. Like I was saying, if I get a kill and I know there's a lot of people around, I just pop a reload real quick. I know sometimes that might annoy a couple people. I got a couple comments like that in my last video, but I mean, it's just so you know that you have enough ammo to take on whoever is going to come up right in front of you. So fast mag is perfect for me. I'm sure you could do any of these other mags, but this one just does everything that you needed to. ADS speed doesn't take a big hit, and you might as well reload as fast as you can. And then the last thing is going to be the remove stock. The only reason I run this is because I love that movement speed. Again, never taking a hit to the recoil both ways at all. It really does not move. Even if you start shooting as fast as you can, it really doesn't move like any higher than when you're aiming. And the sprint to shoot time, just because you're getting up close in people's faces, might as well try and shoot as fast as you can. And movement speed, just so you can run around the map and find a lot of people. My favorite M16 class, my favorite gun in the entire game. Well, I should say my favorite AR in the entire game. This thing's a monster. You guys are absolutely gonna love this if you use it. And the next gun we got going on is 100% going to be the AK. I know a lot of people are probably like, why is it not the ACR? AK just hits like an absolute truck, especially if you go for headshots. This thing I think does 33 to the head, which is insane. So in like 3-4 bullets, you're melting people. Like it's absolutely insane. Even the phantoms that have increased health, you're melting them in 4 headshots. It's wild. I have killed people so fast with this thing. So muzzle, I still use the rate of fire increase, the muzzle booster. Recoil on this gun, Surprisingly, it being an AK is not that bad at all. So I just increased that rate of fire. If you want to try something else on here, if you're struggling with the recoil, you definitely can. But rate of fire for me, more bullets, more kills, more damage, crazy. Next barrel we have here is going to be the stabilizing. This is to kind of counteract that muzzle booster, so bring that recoil down a little bit, just because I feel like every other attachment here isn't really worth it. Not a lot of things do recoil. It has a bunch of range already, so stabilizing I thought was the best one, just to help you control that recoil a little bit if you are struggling. Next thing we have here is the vertical grip. So just controlling that recoil again. Want to have that faster rate of fire, so everything else you kind of just bring down the recoil. Even though it's not too hard, you just want to make sure you're going to be as accurate as possible, especially if you're trying to hit headshots. You want to make sure you're staying on the head and not jumping just a little bit above that headshot. And ADS speed, honestly, I feel like in this game is very fast on mostly everything. So I feel like you don't take a big hit, might as well get that recoil reduction. I know a lot of people use tactical for the recoil recovery, but vertical has just been sitting right with me. And again, fast mags, faster bullets, faster reloading, more damage, more kills. You already know the deal. And then the next one we have here is the grip tape. Again, just working on that vertical recoil. This gun really doesn't move to the left or the right. It's literally just straight up. So vertical recoil is pretty much what you're going to be worrying about. And then the recoil recovery, if you do start going up too high, just stop shooting for a little bit, and the recoil recovery will really save you and bring it back down to where you need it to be. So that's why I put that right there, just because I feel like that does really help out a lot. And that has been the AK. Moving on to the next one.
Rapid fire, front rail. I want to control recoil, so I think horizontal. Run.
We're in there.
Alright, I got my MP5 ready.
It's crazy. And of course, the next one's gonna be the ACR right below the AK. Not even saying that the ACR is that much worse. It's literally, if I had to rate it, between like a 9 to an 8.7. The ACR is an 8.7, AK is a 9. Like, it's right next to each other. It's kind of crazy. For the barrel right here, I have the chrome line just to get a little bit more range on the ACR. I feel like you probably could stabilize it in some way, but I didn't really notice it was that big of an issue. And with the ACR, I just want to make sure that I'm killing people at all ranges. You probably change this out for a little bit. I used to use rapid fire, but then the recoil was a little bit too much, so chrome line really did it for me. Vertical, just like on all the other guns, this gun does have a little bit more kick than the AK, which is kind of insane to me. But when I'm using this gun, I feel like it jumps around a little bit more than the AK. So you want to make sure you get that vertical recoil under control, just so if you're killing people across the map, you can still actually hit a bunch of shots and you're not shooting up into the sky. Reflex, obviously, for the sight. The iron sights on this gun are a little clunky, I'm not gonna lie. They're a lot bigger than I thought they were. I remember them being more of like the MW3 type iron sights, but it seems like they might have changed it. So I like the reflex on there just because the other ones are really clunky. Can't really see too much out of it, so reflex just eliminates that and it's just the classic red dot. Fast mag, I feel like I really don't need an explanation. I'm pretty sure I have fast mag on all the guns, so just put this on if you like kills. If you don't, you can swap it out for anything else or potentially another attachment, but I just like reloading a lot and I'm up in people's faces all the time, so this is the thing that I love using. And then the quick draw rear grip, just so I can have a little bit more of that ADS speed, and again, running around a lot, so that sprint to shoot time is pretty important for me, because if I'm ever up in someone's face, I want to make sure that I get the first shot off and not them, because a lot of the time when you do get the first shot off, you're gonna win. Definitely helps out a lot.
Ow, stop shooting me.
And then personally, for me, the MDR is placing up at number 4, being the second worst assault rifle. This thing's still not being that bad. I feel like this one is more of like an SMG AR, which is still pretty good. It just doesn't do everything that I want it to. I wish it did a little bit more damage and had a little bit more range, and that's kind of what we build into kind of here with the barrel extender. Just trying to get that more range, just because, again, I feel like this is more of an SMG, and when people start to get farther and farther away from you, you have a really hard time killing people with this gun. Recoil on it is not too bad. Luckily, it's just pretty much straight up. There's no side to side movement, so you can control it if possible. This gun does jump around a lot as well. I feel like it's the bounciest gun in the game, but if you can get used to it, it's honestly pretty good, and then you can start building into that range. I highly recommend trying to get good with it before trying to bring down the recoil a lot, because that range really does help. Same exact thing with Chrome Line. We're gonna get an extra 20% to both ranges, so bringing that all the way up to 30% definitely helps out a lot. Truly recommend this before you try to do any sort of like stabilizing or anything. The gun really is not that hard to control, so highly recommend this one. Vertical grip, just because we want to have a little bit of help with controlling it. Like I said, it's very, very bouncy. So I tried to get used to it. I tried doing it without the vertical and went tactical. It was still a little too bouncy, and vertical felt perfect for me in terms of like bounciness and how much it moves up. So this one definitely helped out a lot. Highly recommend trying this one out. And then the next two ones, obviously you see here, I don't really like the iron sights. They're not too bad. It's not too clunky. You probably could get away without it. And if you can and you like the iron sights, take off the reflex, put another like recoil help thing on somewhere in the stock or the grip. But to me personally, I really like the reflex just so I can actually see what I'm shooting at, and the bounciness doesn't really take effect with the reflex, I feel like. And then fast mag, you know, the usual, get more kills, reload fast, do the whole deal. And then the last gun we have here is going to be the M4. Again, not saying this is the worst gun in any way. It definitely does have its place, but to me, I'm not the biggest fan. This kind of felt like more of a pea shooter, which you'll see how I build into it to try and make it a little better. The way I tried to build it was essentially like a little bit worse of an ACR, just having a little bit more damage and a little bit less recoil. So muzzle booster here. This gun does not really move anywhere. That's the big thing about it, is that the recoil is like non-existent no matter what you use. I just spec'd into the rate of fire, get more bullets, and try and kill people a little bit faster, just because without it, I felt like it was taking way too long. And this will counteract with the next attachment that we have going on, which is the heavy barrel, because this increases the weapon damage but reduces the rate of fire. I like this a little bit more just because it doesn't feel like you're wasting a bunch of bullets on someone and only doing like what feels like SMG damage. This bulks it up a little bit more to kind of where the ACR is at, but the rate of fire does take a hit. But honestly, I think that's pretty good because you're not wasting a lot of bullets, and then the muzzle booster will kind of counteract it and give it a little bit faster of a shot without making it too slow. Vertical here, again, you could go with tactical, but I personally like vertical. Keep that recoil as small as you can. You can honestly probably switch it out for anything that feels comfortable to you, but this is what felt the best to me. I'm sure you could, if you want like movement speed, go with super light, or you could just do it like a tactical type deal. Honestly, all of those are probably going to be pretty good. Super light if you can control that recoil, for sure. And then obviously fast mag here. I try and make a little bit faster of an M4 class just because I'm up in people's faces the entire time. So fast mag really does help out with all the engagements that I have. And then the last thing here is going to be the remove stock. This one I love just because you can move around a lot more. I thought I was going to like the lightweight just because this took a hit to like the flinch control and the recoil, but honestly, they're both pretty good. One, I like the way this looks, and the movement speed and the sprint to shoot time are a huge help to me, just because you definitely want to get the first shot off with this gun because the damage is not necessarily there. So getting more shots earlier than your opponent is going to be an absolute blessing. But yeah, guys, that is pretty much it for every AR setup. I hope you guys do enjoy. It took a lot of work for me to get all of these, but I plan on doing this with everything with like SMGs, shotguns, LMGs, marksman, sniper. If you guys could leave a like and drop a sub, as these videos do take a little bit of work to put together, and it would be awesome to see how you guys are supporting it. You guys have been absolutely killing it recently with all the support. I think I've gained over 100 subs just in these past few days, so I really do appreciate it. If you guys enjoy the setups and are using them, let me know down in the comment section below. But thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Hicks, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.